Alright, this is our video on how to replace polymer roller wheels with some roller bearing wheels. This is Calvin, he's going to show us how it's done.
Hey everyone, start with a few things that you're going to need. Primary thing is shoulder rivet with a roller bearing on it and a spacer. It's important that the roller bearing is at the head of the shoulder rivet. So we need two of those. We need two replacement 1/8 inch pop rivets. And then pen, because we need to mark something on here. A rivet punch for setting the shoulder rivets. A hammer to use with the rivet punch to set the shoulder rivets. Something hard to hammer the rivets down on. A 1/2 inch spacer, in this case we're just using a little piece of plywood. A pop rivet gun. A drill with a 1/8 inch bit in it. And a drill with a 3/16 inch bit in it. And then the panel you're working on. So we'll walk through the steps. The first thing to do is to put a little W beside the wheel while the wheel is facing up. And the reason is when you put this piece back in to make sure these rivet holes line up, the wheels have to face the same way. So now with the W there, you know your wheels have to face out on the side with the W. Next thing is to grab your 1/8 inch drill bit and drill out the rivet that is facing up. So you can see on this side, the rivet has a bit of a flat disc facing up. If you drill right in the center of that, you can drill the rivet out. If you note on the other side, that's the back of the rivet. You don't want to start drilling from that side. You want to start drilling from the flat side. So wait. So once that's popped out, you just check that the little piece in the back comes clear. So in this case it hasn't come clear yet, so we'll drill a little more. There, now that's clear. Flip the panel over. Drill from the other side. I use a little Teflon spacer here to protect the aluminum. Good if you have something you can use as a spacer. If not, just be careful that you don't drive the drill into the aluminum. There, now that we've got both of those out, this is panel 1, so it doesn't have a J on it. If you're working on panels 2, 3, 4, or 5, there may be a J screwed into the side. Undo that and remove it, because that J bracket, the screws go into this as well. So to get this out, you're going to need to remove them. Once you've done that, you can just wiggle this free. Usually it comes pretty easy like that. If it doesn't, try tapping the sides to get it out. If it still doesn't come out, there could be a piece of the rivet still stuck in there, in which case you have to use your drill to remove that piece. Once you have this out, we now need to drill out the shoulder rivets to replace them. To do that, take a 3/16 drill and generally just hang them off the edge of something, and then drill down through those with the 3/16. Again, just center and make sure you're lined up in line with the axes of that shoulder rivet. Repeat that on the other side. So now we've got the plate ready for new wheels. Give it a little wipe to remove any of the lubricant from the old wheels. Then take the first wheel that you want to install. Make sure it's on the side you wrote the W on. So stick it through so you can see the wheel is sticking up on the side with the W. Then turn it over so it's face down on your plate that you're going to hit against with a 1/2 inch spacer under it. Line your rivet setter up with that. I find it helps to just use your wrist to hold this in place, but basically hold that all in place. And hit that down until it's set. What you want to check for is that that spacer is sitting flush. You can see this one's not quite flush yet. So then whichever side is still up, line the rivet setter up with it and hit it a few times biased towards that side. This looks like we need to hit it one more time. So now it's sitting flush. If you look on the back, you can see that the rivet is nicely pounded down and the wheel is spinning freely. Repeat with the other one. Make sure it's facing the same way. Flip it down. Pound it flush. So there we go. Both wheels on, spinning freely, both flush on the back. And it's important to look all the way around and make sure that spacer is seated all the way around. Once you've got that, we then slide this back in. You want the wheels facing towards the side of the panel with the cutouts at the top. So this way with the wheels up and the cutouts down is wrong. This way with the cutouts and the wheels facing the same way is correct. Slide it back in place. You should be able to line up your rivet holes. Drop your rivets back into those holes. Take a manual pop riveter. And pop the rivets in place. You want to make sure that they're nice and flush down. You don't want them standing up at all. Flip the panel over so you can access the other one. Drop your rivet in place. Pop that. There you go. Switched over to 2 roller bearing wheels instead of the plastic wheels. It's important to note, make sure you use those same rivet holes. The distance from the wheel to the mid slot is very important. If you use the same 1/8 rivet holes, you can guarantee that your wheels are going to be in the same spot relative to that mid slot. If you try and drill new holes, you might lose that alignment, which will cause problems when you try and put your gate back together. That's it. Oh, and if you remove the J bracket, make sure you reinstall the J bracket. So put that back on. The J should be facing the same direction as the wheels, and you should have 2 screws to put that in.